Welcome to the Sports Circus, live from the AAMP.TV mobile studios here in fabulous Las Vegas. That's AAMP.TV. Today's show is brought to you by Cali Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, and TV, or multimedia talk show. Cali Vegas can help them from get out of sitting in hours of traffic every day. And, well, let's face it, sometimes they may not be. They might be sitting at home saying, I need to reinvent myself. Guess what? You can have your very own talk show in your very own home studio. For more information, contact Cali Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit them online for more information at calivegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas. Talk 1490 WIRB and our friends over on CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Hotel Television in 650,000 rooms. And thanks to everybody also watching on thesportscircus.com. All right, going to talk a little bit of hockey today. Got a couple of guests. Going to get into that in just a hot second here. Real quick, from the very top, Gary Bettman on the 2019 and 2020 NHL season. Canceling is too easy a solution, he says. Continues, quote, I believe that if the right time comes and the right circumstances based on all the options that we're considering and our ability to execute them, we'll get this season done, is what he told the Mercury News. He further continues, I don't want to sound Pollyanna, but canceling is too easy a solution. That means you stop working hard to do all the things that we're doing. And I ultimately believe that there will be an opportunity. Now, close quote, only twice in the NHL, in the history of the NHL, in 1919, the cup has not been awarded, and also in 2005 regarding that season-long lockout. Now, joining us today, we have two people. We have NHL referee for a very long time, I think about 31, 32 years. And Paul Dvorsky works in the war room over in Toronto from time to time. Paul joining us. Thanks for joining us on telephone, Paul.
Hey, no problem, guys. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. All right. Now, also, we have a hockey player in the developmental league over on the East Coast out of the Charlotte Rush, and that would be Eric Pagorni. Eric, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. All right, so we've got a defenseman, and Paul, I think you were a defenseman as well, weren't you, back in the day?
Yeah, when I played junior in Guelph with George McPhee, I would play defense with George.
All right, so let me ask you guys a couple of questions. Now, there have been some potential rule changes that, of course, the league is considering. I know Gary Bettman said that, of course, he had no plans to cancel, but there may be some adjustments to the game, and some of them include a full face shield. Let's just talk about that for a minute. Now, Eric, as a defenseman, how do you feel about wearing a full face shield?
Personally, I wouldn't like it as much because, like I wear a visor right now and I still tote it up because I want to see the ice more. And I think if you have like a full face shield, then it's going to be harder to see the ice in place. So, I don't think it'd be too, like a real good thing to have, to say it all.
So, all right. So, Paul, as don't the on ice officials, don't they wear shields as well now?
Yes, they do. They all wear a half a shield. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, does the shield does it distract your vision a little bit? Distort it?
Yeah.
It fogs up on you, especially with guys that sweat a lot, and especially with referees, you don't get a lot of breaks, so your visor's getting foggy, so every time you got a timeout, you're over there wiping it off.
Right. So I would imagine it becomes kind of a problem, but let's think about this. Let's take it to another level. So Eric, as a defenseman, you like to get in there and mix it up a little bit. Well, guess what? As I understand, there's not going to be any fighting allowed. What do you think about that?
Personally, I think it's the point of the game is, it's not to fight, but I mean, there are some guys in the league that are meant for fighting. Even though people think if you fight in the NHL, then it's it's just like what they do. But there's always a reasoning behind it. So I think fighting out of the league is gonna make people not come to the games too. So the attendance is probably gonna go down also.
Paul, what do you think about that?
I mean, I haven't heard that they're taking fighting out because between you and I, fighting's not an issue anymore. Those days are long gone. I mean, how many fights do we see nowadays? You see maybe one a month in Vegas, and each team has a few guys that can fight, but most of the time they're there to play hockey now. So if you can fight, you better be able to play hockey today too. Because the day of the Bob Probert and those guys, they're long gone. It's all about speed now. Speed and finesse.
Right. We do have a couple of guys that could fight over here, and we've seen the reinventing of Ryan Reeves because, Ryan likes to fight with everybody. And, of course, as he was with the St. Louis Blues, that's all he seemed to have done. But he actually has a purpose here for the Vegas Golden Knights locally. And it's nice to see a guy actually showcase some skill. And by the way, he can still knock somebody out at the same time.
Yeah, Ryan, I always enjoyed him on the ice. He was a very honest player, but he was one tough son of a beehive.
All right. So now also there aren't going to be any scrums after the whistle for the linesman to break up. So Eric, I mean, look, you're kind of a feisty defenseman and you like to mix it up a little bit. How are you going to handle that? I mean, they're going to blow a whistle. You're just going to skate away. I mean, you can't punch anybody in the face. You can't cold cock them. You can't give them a face wash. I mean, that kind of blows, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that part of the game, I mean, it brings a big aspect to it because it builds momentum for the next play. It sends a message to the other team and like your own bench. So, I mean, personally, the scrums after the whistles, they're never going to go away. There's always going to be a problem.
Okay. All right. Well, I think about that. And Paul, I mean, look, Paul, that's part of the game. That's what they do. Right? They like to get in there, mix it up a little bit. And even after the whistle, just to make sure, it's kind of like, who could pee the furthest, right? It's one of those things, right? Who could punch the hardest, who can, I don't know, cross-check the hardest. I mean, how do you handle that? If you're a coach, Paul, what do you tell people?
Well, I mean, if they're not going to allow scrums, I mean, obviously our referees are going to have to enforce that. And that's going to be a pain in the butt right there. But if everybody abides by it, I don't think it'll be a problem, because the first time there is a scrum, somebody's going to get a penalty. And then when you get shorthanded, everybody's pissed off because they got scored on. So, and then the coach gets mad and he gets mad at the player. So then obviously by the end of a month, all the scrums are gone. So, I mean, like I said, if everybody's wearing face visors, everybody's got to wear them. If everybody's not doing the scrums, then we all abide by it, and you know what? We still play hockey.
Okay, but also, well, now think about this. There's not going to be any spitting on the ice or on the bench either. Some people are just kind of like saliva machines, right? They just constantly spit. It is what it is, right? How does that work? When you're wearing a full face mask, you're going to be spitting back in your own face?
I have no idea how they're going to control that. Like when a guy, especially if a guy's gagging and he's got to throw, spit out, he's got to spit out. I mean, am I going to give a guy a penalty for that because, he was coughing and, ready to puke and then he had to spit? I mean, I don't know how they're going to, handle that. 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to handle that, guys. I mean, to me, I find it befuddling. And Eric, as a player, if you're out there playing and let's just say you need to rinse your mouth out, whatever, and I know you may have some health issues where that could be a problem for you specifically. How do you handle that?
I mean, there's really no way to. I mean, you kind of have to spit all the time, and especially me, if your mouth get dry, you put some water in it and you just spit it out. You know, like you're not going to swallow it.
Right. I mean, and I ask because I know there could be some real issues, and they can't discriminate against players that have, lifelong health issues at the same time. So, guys, this is going to be an ongoing issue. And now, Eric, I know you have to do some yoga for your team, but guess what? I'm going to keep you around for a little bit for the next segment. So don't go anywhere, and tell that guy to get out of the background because he's in the picture. All right. And Devo, I want you, of course, to stick around with me as well. How much time do we have left? I can't really tell on the clock. 45? 60. Okay, we got 60 seconds. So I want to go over a couple more of these when we come back from commercial break. And to me, I got to tell you, the game is going to be different. And Eric, imagine this before we go to break. Just think about the idea that you could be playing to a stadium filled with cardboard cutouts as fans. That would be the most ridiculous thing. Yeah. All right, folks. We're going to be back here in just a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come. Don't go anywhere. Back here with Paul Dvorsky, long time NHL referee, works the War Room in Toronto, and Eric Picorni of the Charlotte Rush, star defenseman. Back in a few minutes.